Hey, so I'm Dan. Wow, I didn't know I was going to get both names. My story is about a vice, but it's a child vice. When I was about 5th grade, I realized that I could actually steal stuff, mostly candy, without getting caught. But of course, I was raised to be what basically amounts to what now would be called socialist or communist or something. But to believe that corporations were bad and people were good. So I didn't want to be bad, so I had to decide some way in which what I was doing was not me being a bad person, but me just fighting against a bad corporation. So what I came up with was I had heard that every 25-cent, yeah, I'm that old, every 25-cent candy bar was actually probably cost them only 5 cents, and then they sold it for 25 cents. So if I bought one candy bar and stole 4 of them, they just weren't making a profit. This was also a really effective way of them not noticing that I was stealing it. So, because why would a thief buy stuff? So I started doing this, and I gradually became so confident in it, and in my mind, suave, that I would actually talk to the cashier while I was removing the candy. I'd be like, "So, how are you? How's it going? Do you enjoy working here?" I know, that guy over there, he's kind of creepy. I would watch him. He could be up to no good. After a while, I started to realize that I was starting to lose that certain thrill that I had first gained from this experience. So I pulled my parents aside as we were outside of a High's grocery, and I told them, I made a big confession. I said, "Mom, Dad, I tell you the truth, I've been stealing candy." My parents first just sort of looked at me kind of confused, like this was some kind of weird song lyric I was telling them. And then they said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you know, candy bars and like gum and stuff like that." Again, they looked at me weird, like, "Why would you bother to do that?" But and I said, I feel bad. I want to be a better person. I'm not going to do it again. I felt really good after telling them that, and then while they were in the front of the store, I stole some more candy. I realized that I actually just wanted the confession rush, I kept going. I stopped doing the candy after a while because it seemed sort of amateurish. I was like, I'm not a child. I don't need to steal candy. Plus, I'm a good person. So now I'm only going to steal tapes of musical artists that are put in the nice price bin that shouldn't be in the nice price bin. It's kind of a liberation. I'm fighting back against stupid studio executives. Like, why would you put The River in the nice price bin? Fuck you. You know, like, so I was like standing up for what was right, you know? But once again, I was a liberator, not a problem. But eventually I came to this point where I had this deep existential realization. I realized that, in fact, it was not actually the stealing that I wanted. It was the rush of getting away with something. And that if I kept trying to get this rush, I was going to eventually have to actually do it at gunpoint. Which would eventually mean that I was probably going to meet with some bank teller who was going to be like, "No, I'm not giving you the bag." And I'd be like, "But I have a gun." And she'd be like, "I'm not giving you the bag." You know, and I'd be like, "Well, I got to use the gun." And I was like, I don't want to be a murderer. So I stopped with the Springsteen Rivers tape. And I realized that actually what I really wanted, similar to an earlier reader or speaker, was I wanted to feel that sense of adventure. What I actually really wanted was I wanted to be Luke Skywalker. And, well, actually I really wanted to be Han Solo, because Luke Skywalker's kind of a wuss. But I wanted to go to that den of infamy and find out how to be a badass. But I realized that what I wanted even more than that was to be somebody who stood up for something good. And it wasn't going to be achieved simply by taking something that wasn't mine.